Welcome to Sleep Loop. Tonight, we invite you to leave the noise of the modern world behind. Close your eyes, take a deep, slow breath, and let your shoulders drop. Imagine a place where time moves at the speed of a turning page. Our story takes us to the heart of Victorian London on a crisp, quiet Christmas morning. But not to the busy streets. Instead, we find ourselves on Cornhill, standing before a narrow, humble shop. The windows are frosted, traced with delicate, icy patterns that look like lace against the glass. This is the domain of Mr. Elias Thorne. He is a man of gentle years, with silver hair and spectacles perched upon his nose. He moves with a slow, deliberate gait, a rhythm born of habit and peace. His hands, calloused from years of handling heavy leather-bound tomes, reach out to turn the key in the lock. With a soft click and the gentle tinkle of the brass bell above, Mr. Thorne steps inside. The shop is a sanctuary. It smells of old paper, oak wood, and the faint, comforting scent of vanilla and ink. It is dim inside, the morning light filtering through the dust motes dancing in the air. Mr. Thorne moves through the shadows with ease. He knows every stack of books, every creaking floorboard. He approaches the small hearth at the back of the shop. A neat pile of logs waits for him. Slowly, with the creak of old joints, he kneels. He strikes a match. The sound is sharp, then soft, as the flame catches the kindling. Watch the fire as it grows. First a flicker, then a steady glow. The orange light begins to dance across the spines of the books, revealing titles embossed in faded gold. The warmth begins to spread, chasing away the winter chill, curling around the room like a well-worn, comfortable blanket. Mr. Thorne stands, brushes the dust from his trousers, and sighs with deep contentment. The day has begun, not with a shout, but with a whisper. The fire creates a gentle rhythm, a crackling sound that serves as the heartbeat of the shop. Mr. Thorne turns his attention to the counter. He retrieves a soft velvet cloth and reaches up to the brass bell above the door. He polishes it slowly, methodically. Under his hand, the metal begins to gleam, reflecting the warm firelight. For Mr. Thorne, this is not a chore. It is an act of care. Everything in this shop has a soul, a history. He steps back to admire his work, then turns his gaze to the shelves. They reach from the floor to the ceiling, lined with books of every size and color. Some are bound in deep red leather, others in cloth of midnight blue. They whisper tales of adventure, of romance, of distant lands and forgotten mysteries. He notices a volume leaning too far to the left. With a touch as light as a feather, he straightens it. Perfect order in a chaotic world. He walks to the front window and wipes away a small patch of frost with his sleeve. Outside, the city of London is slowly waking up. The cobblestones are slick with morning dew. He sees the first few people passing by, bundled tight in wool coats and thick scarves, their breath misting in the cold air. They hurry along, but inside the shop, time stands still. Mr. Thorne settles behind his heavy oak counter. The wood is smooth under his fingertips, polished by decades of use. He is ready. He awaits the arrival of his first visitor, though he is in no rush. He enjoys the solitude, the company of the fire, and the silent stories that surround him. He thinks of the schoolmaster who often visits on Tuesdays, imagining the literary debates they might share. A smile touches his lips. Everything is exactly as it should be. The silence is broken gently. The door swings open, the bell chiming its musical greeting. A gust of crisp, cold air swirls in, followed by a familiar figure. It is Mr. Jonathan Whittaker, the local schoolmaster. He brings with him the scent of the outdoors and old chalk. Mr. Whittaker's coat is threadbare at the elbows, an indigo relic of better days, but he wears it with dignity. His pockets seem heavy with papers. He nods to the bookseller. "Good morning, Mr. Thorne," he says, his voice a quiet rumble. Mr. Thorne looks up from a book he was dusting. "Good morning, Mr. Whitaker. What scholarly pursuit brings you to my humble abode on such a fine morning?" The schoolmaster approaches the counter, his steps measured. "I am in search of a gift," he replies softly. "Something of depth. A volume that might ignite a spark of curiosity in a young mind." Mr. Thorne's eyes brighten behind his spectacles. He steps out from behind the counter. "A noble endeavor," he muses. He walks to a shelf dedicated to the classics. His fingers hover over the spines. "Perhaps Shakespeare?" His words are timeless. Mr. Whitaker shakes his head gently. "Shakespeare is genius, indeed. But I seek something more contemporary, something that speaks to the heart of our current society." Mr. Thorne pauses. He scans the shelves, his brow furrowed in concentration. He pulls down a book bound in green cloth. Charles Dickens, perhaps. He captures the spirit of our times like no other. He says the schoolmaster, taking the book. He traces the title with reverence. "Dickens. Yes." He speaks of trials and triumphs. "This is perfect." The two men stand in companionable silence for a moment. Two guardians of knowledge in the quiet shop. The transaction is made, not just of coin, but of mutual respect. As Mr. Whitaker leaves, the shop settles back into its slumber, the fire crackling a little louder, filling the space left behind. The shop rests in a comfortable silence for a while. The fire has burned down to glowing embers, casting a soft, pulsing red light across the floorboards. Mr. Thorne stands behind his counter, surrounded by the treasures of childhood, books with spines that whisper of dragons, of distant castles and enchanted forests. The door creaks open again, but this time with a gentle hesitancy. In the frame stands a small figure. A boy, no older than 7, with hair the color of autumn leaves and eyes wide with wonder. His clothes are simple, clean, and worn with care. He steps inside as if entering a cathedral, his small shoes tapping a shy rhythm on the wood. In his hand, clutched tight against his chest, is a single penny. It is a small coin, but to him it holds the weight of a golden key. He approaches the counter, looking up at Mr. Thorne. The bookseller leans forward, his face softening into a grandfatherly smile. "And what can I do for you today, young sir?" he asks, his voice a warm melody. The boy places the penny on the counter. "I'd like to buy a story," he whispers, his voice filled with determination. "A real story." Mr. Thorne's eyes twinkle. "You have come to the right place." Mr. Thorne moves to a lower shelf. He pulls out a volume bound in bright red cloth. "This," he says softly, "is a tale of knights and courage." He opens the book to show a vibrant illustration of a hero on a noble steed. The boy's eyes widen. He traces the picture with a small finger. "It's perfect," he breathes. The transaction is made, a penny for a world of dreams. As the boy leaves, clutching his treasure, the shop feels lighter, charged with the lingering magic of youthful hope. The door clicks shut, and the bell settles into silence. The energy of the boy fades, replaced once again by the dust and the shadows. Mr. Thorne moves to tidy the shelves, his routine restored. He walks to a dimly lit corner where the older, forgotten tomes rest. Something catches his eye. A disruption in the pattern. A book, its spine cracked and yellowed with age, sits on a shelf where it does not belong. It leans awkwardly against a row of pristine almanacs. Mr. Thorne pauses. He knows his shop like the back of his hand. He did not place it there. He reaches out, his fingers brushing the frayed edges. He pulls it free. The title is barely visible, embossed in faded gold, A Tales of the Unseen. He turns it over in his hands. It feels heavy, dense with history. It is not a book from his inventory. It feels, left behind. Or perhaps returned. He carries the book to his desk, where the oil lamp pools a circle of golden light. He sits down, the leather of his chair creaking softly. He opens the cover. The pages smell of vanilla and old smoke. Inside, the margins are filled with handwritten notes. Scribbles in ink, faded by time. Questions, thoughts, a dialogue between a reader and the text. Who are you? Mr. Thorne whispers to the empty room. The shop seems to hold its breath. The shadows stretch longer as the afternoon wears on. This isn't just a misplaced object. It is a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Mr. Thorne adjusts his spectacles and leans closer to the page. The handwriting is elegant, hurried, as if the writer was capturing a fleeting thought. He reads a note in the margin. The truth is not in the destination, but in the journey. He imagines the person who wrote this. Was it a scholar? A traveler? Or perhaps a lonely soul seeking comfort in these very pages, just as he does now? The notes form a map, not of places, but of a mind. Mr. Thorne feels a sudden, deep connection to this stranger. The clock on the wall ticks. Tick, tark, tick, tark, measuring the passing of the day. But Mr. Thorne is lost in the past. He turns page after page, following the trail of ink. It feels like an adventure, a quiet pursuit within the four walls of his shop on Cornhill. He wonders if the book was left by mistake, or if it found its way here on purpose. Books, he believes, have a way of traveling to those who need them most. The mystery quickens his pulse, just slightly, enough to make the solitude feel alive. He decides he will not rest until he finds the owner, or at least understands the story behind the story. He closes the book gently, treating it with a newfound reverence. He places it on his desk, right next to the lamp, a beacon for a secret yet to be revealed. The shop darkens as evening approaches, but the mystery keeps the atmosphere warm and engaging. The two men move slowly along the shelves. Mr. Robert speaks of his family with a pride that shines brighter than any gold. My eldest, Martha, she is working as a seamstress now, he shares, touching the spine of a book on textiles. Her hands are so quick, so graceful. And Peter, thank goodness, he has grown so tall he nearly bumps his head on the door frame. Mr. Thorne listens, soaking in the stories of a household filled with love, even if their pockets are light. It reminds him that the richest stories are not always found in books, but in the lives of people. Here, Mr. Thorne says, pulling a modest volume from the shelf. The cover is a soft blue, worn but sturdy. The Boy Who Caught the Wind. It is a story about finding magic in the ordinary. Mr. Robert takes the book gently. He runs a rough thumb over the cover. It is perfect, he whispers. Timothy will cherish this. He holds the book to his chest, not just as a gift, but as a vessel of his love. They stand by the fire for a moment longer, sharing the quiet camaraderie of fathers and friends. When Mr. Robert leaves, he takes the book, but leaves behind a feeling of gratitude that lingers in the air like perfume. The shop feels fuller, richer for his visit. The afternoon light begins to fade, painting the sky outside in shades of violet and indigo. Inside, the shop glows warmer, a golden island in the coming night. The bell chimes merrily, announcing a new arrival. Mr. Rabbit enters. He brings with him a gust of winter air, but his presence is undeniably warm. His coat is frayed at the hem, and his scarf has seen many winters, yet he wears a smile that could melt the frost on the windows. He rubs his hands together, blowing on them for warmth. "Good evening, Mr. Thorn," he says, his voice cheerful. "It is a biting cold out there, but your shop is as toasty as a chestnut roasting on an open fire." Mr. Thorn smiles, stepping out from behind the counter. "Good evening, Mr. Rabbit. Come closer to the fire. Warm yourself." Mr. Rabbit approaches the hearth, grateful. "Thank you kindly. I am on a mission today," he says, his eyes softening. "I am looking for a book for my youngest, Timothy. He has been resting by the fire all week, and his spirits need a little lifting." Mr. Thorn nods understandingly. He knows the healing power of a good story. Something to lift the spirits, he muses. Perhaps a tale of wonder, or a journey to a land where the sun always shines. He loves to dream, and Mr. Rabbit replies. He may be small, but his imagination is as vast as the ocean. With the door closed and the silence returning, Mr. Thorn's thoughts drift back to the mystery on his desk. The misplaced book. The handwritten notes. Who did it belong to? He walks to a high shelf behind the counter and retrieves a large, heavy book bound in black leather. It is his old ledger, the record of every book bought and sold in this shop for the past 20 years. He places the ledger on his desk next to the mystery book. He opens it. The spine cracks loudly, a sound that echoes in the quiet room. The pages are filled with columns of names and dates, written in his own steady hand. He begins to turn the pages, traveling back in time. He reads the names of old customers. Some have moved away, some have passed on, and some, like Mr. Whitaker, still visit. Each name brings a face to mind, a memory of a rainy Tuesday or a sunny Saturday. He is looking for a clue, perhaps a record of this specific title, a Tales of the Unseen. He traces the lines with his finger. The clock ticks steadily, tick, tock, keeping pace with his search. The shop is no longer just a store. It is a detective study, cozy and full of secrets waiting to be found in the yellowed pages of the past. The shop is quiet, save for the rhythmic ticking of the clock and the occasional pop of the fire. Mr. Thorne runs his finger down the column of dates in the heavy ledger. 1898, 1897. He turns the pages back, the paper feeling soft and fragile under his touch. His eyes scan the entries. A tale of two cities, ere the Iliad, ere Grimm's fairy tales. And then he stops. His finger rests on a line written in faded blue ink. November 14th, 1895. Tales of the Unseen. Beside the title is a name he remembers well, Mr. Arthur Grimshaw. Mr. Thorne leans back in his chair, taking off his spectacles to rub his tired eyes. Grimshaw, a man of quiet demeanor, a traveler who often sought books about the mysteries of the world. Memory floods back to Mr. Thorne. He remembers Mr. Grimshaw standing in this very spot years ago, speaking of a long journey he was about to undertake. The puzzle pieces begin to click into place. The book was not lost, it was waiting. Mr. Thorne looks at the closed book on his desk with new understanding. It is an artifact of a specific time, a specific life. He wonders where Mr. Grimshaw is now. As if in answer to his thought, a shadow passes across the frosted window of the shop door. The brass bell chimes, a sound that seems louder in the evening stillness. The door opens, admitting the chill of the night and a figure wrapped in a heavy coat. It is him. Older, perhaps, with more silver in his beard and more lines around his eyes, but unmistakably Mr. Arthur Grimshaw. He carries the air of a man who has walked many miles. He stamps the snow from his boots and tips his hat. "Good evening, Mr. Thorne," he says, his voice a low, gravelly rumble like stones shifting in a river. "It has been a long time." Mr. Thorne stands, a smile of genuine surprise and warmth spreading across his face. "Mr. Grimshaw, I was just thinking of you. Truly." Mr. Grimshaw approaches the counter, his eyes scanning the familiar shelves. "The road leads us back to where we belong. Eventually," he muses. "I felt a pull to visit the old shop, to see if the magic still holds." Mr. Thorne gestures to the desk. "I believe you are here for this," he says gently, sliding the book, A Tales of the Unseen, toward him. Mr. Grimshaw freezes. He looks at the book as one might look at a ghost, not with fear, but with a deep, aching tenderness. He reaches out a trembling hand to touch the cover. "My old friend," he whispers. "I thought you were lost forever." Mr. Grimshaw picks up the book, cradling it in his hands. He looks at Mr. Thorne, his eyes shimmering with unshed emotion. "This book, it was not originally mine," he explains softly. "It belonged to my sister, Eleanor." He opens the book to the inscription page. "See here." He points to the dedication. "She loved mysteries. She used to write notes in the margins, arguing with the author, asking questions." He chuckles softly, a sad but sweet sound. "When she passed, this book was the only thing I kept. I lost it on a train to Dover years ago. I never thought I would see it again. It found its way back," and Mr. Thorne says quietly. "Books have a way of doing that." "Indeed," E. Grimshaw replies. It seems it wanted to come home. The two men stand in the warm glow of the lamp, united by the return of a lost memory. Outside, the snow begins to fall harder, covering London in a blanket of white silence. But inside, the fire is warm, the tea is brewing, and the story of the lost book has found its ending. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight, one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found. As the hour draws to a close, the shop feels complete. Every book on every shelf holds a secret, and tonight one secret has been told. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that what is lost can always be found.